I am 30, and my now ex-girlfriend, trans MTF 23, had been together for 5 years. Before anything is said, I know what an age gap is. When we had first met pre-transition, I had just gone through a divorce about 5 months earlier, and I had been in a very dark place during that time. So, I didn't necessarily see the age gap as a problem at the time. Looking back, I wish I would have been much more mindful. She came into my work and just caught my eye immediately. She was stunning. While I helped her, we had a nice little conversation and seemed to have a lot in common, so I gave her my business card. We ended up texting all that night, and then the night after that, and eventually, we were seeing each other almost every day. I will admit things moved rather fast. After my divorce, I was living with my mother. I make good money, but having the security of being married, I felt safe to indulge in my passion, which is cars. So I already bought my dream car by the time my ex-girlfriend and I met, but that also meant that I wasn't financially able to afford my own apartment. After only being together for about 3 months, I moved in with her and her family. On the surface, family was wonderful. Her mother was very kind, and her father always seemed to view me as a son. Shortly after we moved in together, COVID hit. Thankfully, I worked for a company that was very, very good to me and continued to pay me my full hourly wage, even though we were not allowed to go into work. They even went as far as paying me commissions still by matching what I had made the previous month. Since she and I were stuck inside together, we bonded even more. We almost never argued. Fast forward to about 2021, and in January of that year, I had too many strokes. I had to relearn how to speak, and I lost peripheral vision in my left eye, but I got very lucky because I was back to normal within the month, which is very unheard of. Looking back on it now, I can see that my ex-girlfriend didn't really take care of me when that all happened. When my ex-girlfriend and I had met, she didn't have a job, and I was okay with that. To be honest, I just wanted to take care of her, spoil her, and just see a smile on her face every day. That's what I made my goal. Also, in 2021, I decided that I wanted to propose to her. But I went very overboard with her ring. Her ring cost me $7,000, and I'm still paying it off to this day. I can now see how stupid that was of me, but at the same time, I was still smitten. I only wanted her to have the best. Of course, she loved it. As time went on, we never did end up getting married, which I am thankful for now because she didn't want to get married unless she could have the wedding that she would want, which I just could not afford. In December 2021, I ended up crashing my car and come to find out my ex-husband, whose car insurance I was still on, had my car on storage insurance to save himself money. So, I could not go through insurance for the repairs. My ex-girlfriend's mother paid for everything out of pocket, $13,500. I am still so grateful to this day. Part of the reason that I wanted to give it all to my ex-girlfriend is because although her family had money, she did not feel loved. She was adopted because her parents could not have children for one reason or another. It really seemed like her love language was receiving gifts. So, I suppose that's just what I went for. This definitely stemmed from the fact that her parents, instead of actually parenting, would just throw money at every problem to make it go away. Her father, when I had first met him, he always seemed like a great man. He even helped me work on my car, something my father had never done, and that meant the world to me. But as time went on, he began drinking, and it just continued to get worse and worse until it all boiled over. In the same month of me crashing my car, her father busted into her room, acting belligerent and very clearly drunk. He was being very aggressive towards my girlfriend, getting in her face, and eventually, he punched her. I reacted immediately. I'm not a violent person, but when somebody that I love and care about is in danger, I will do whatever it takes to make sure they're safe. I grabbed what I only know how to describe as one of those Jesus candles, the thick-glassed cylindrical kind, and I hit him over the head with it as hard as I could. My goal was to just knock him out if I could so it would stop. After a couple of hits, it shattered, and I didn't notice immediately even though I had cut my thumb open and I was now going at his head with it. I don't want to get too graphic, so let's just say he needed 37 staples in his head after that. By punching my ex-girlfriend, he had shattered her orbital bone. She stopped speaking to him. Her father had moved out after this took place. He tried reaching out to her around Christmas time by writing her a letter apologizing and commending me for protecting her. She never responded.
She didn't know how.
And she felt like there might be a day where she'll finally be ready, but she certainly wasn't there yet. Fast forward 2 months to February 2022, and her father passed away spontaneously. His stomach had exploded from drinking too much alcohol after having a gastric bypass. I was there and comforted her through all of this. In January 2023, I got a job offer with the same company 3 hours away. I was promised better pay, and after a lot of thought, I took it. Basically, my whole store moved down with me, and we all got an apartment together. My ex-girlfriend stayed home because my boss, whom was one of the people I was living with, didn't want anybody else living there besides me and my 2 coworkers. The only reason I took this opportunity is because I thought this was my chance to make some extra money and finally be able to get our own place together. Unfortunately, I was mistaken. This put a lot of strain on our relationship, and my ex-girlfriend asked me if we could have a polyamorous relationship. At first, I was very reluctant, but I also understood that she had needs, and so did I for that matter. So, eventually, I ended up agreeing to it. Nothing much really came of it for the better part of the year. After only 3 months in this new job, though I moved back, this time we moved in with my mother. My mother is the most amazing woman I've ever known in my life. I sincerely believe that nobody can top her. Plus, she is a fantastic cook. When I moved back, I couldn't get my job back at my old store. They wouldn't hire me. So I went without a job for 5 months. I just did some little side hustle things like making t-shirts and stickers and supporting our local car community with things of that nature to help us get by. We did get by, but just barely. Now, in April of this year, I came across the opportunity to get our own apartment. Rent was stupid cheap at only $700 a month with all utilities included, and it allowed our cats and our dog. I just couldn't pass it up. We have been living there since, and I love the apartment. But having the extra stress of another $700 coming out of my paycheck each month really stressed me
Out.
With her not working, all responsibilities were on my shoulders. She would just sit at home all day and play video games or on calls with your friends. Even as stressful as it was, I didn't have a problem with this as long as household responsibilities like doing dishes and just picking up after herself generally, I was taken care of. Unfortunately, 99% of the time it wasn't. About 2 weeks ago, we were struggling financially, and we didn't have much food in the house. We kind of really did have food, but none of it was anything that sounded any good to her at the time, and getting her to do just about any task was like pulling teeth. On my way home from a long day at work, she texted me complaining that she was hungry. I definitely sympathized with that. I was hungry too. It turned out that my mother had made chili that night, and my ex-girlfriend loved chili. So I stopped by my mom's, and she gave me some chili to bring home. When I was getting ready to leave my mom's, my ex-girlfriend had sent me a text asking me if she were to send me money if I could pick some snacks up from the gas station, which I said yes to. She sent me $30 and a list of things that she wanted. Every single item on this list is something that's just for her. I got everything on that list, and I had a couple of dollars left over. So what I decided to do was to get myself something. I got myself a box of donuts. This particular brand was a brand that she doesn't like. That's why I got them. So that way they wouldn't get eaten by me while I was at work. When I came home and she saw those donuts, she gave me an attitude. Mainly for the fact that I did use $2 of her money on them. I blew up. I took my box of donuts and threw it on the ground as hard as I could. I yelled, and I said many hurtful things to which she retaliated doing the same, and ever since she has told me that I've been emotionally abusive. I may not always be as attentive as she likes or even as attentive as I would like to be, but I work my butt off. And then after working my butt off, I come home, and I would clean the apartment. I would do everything that I would hope so badly she would be doing herself while I was gone. Now, fast forward to 2 days ago. I went out shopping with money that my mother was kind enough to give me because I wanted to make a special dinner for her myself and her other partner, who would come over from time to time. Although I was not a very big fan of this man, he was always kind to me, so I refused to be anything but kind to him in return. As I start making the dinner, she comes into the kitchen and is irritated when I tell her what I'm making. It was like she was just trying to start an argument. So I just stopped. I turned and looked at her, and I said, "I'm breaking up with you." He looked shocked. We went back and forth for an hour or so. I finished making dinner, which she and her other partner did not have any of. Then I went for a drive. I made my ex-girlfriend a deal. She could continue to stay in the apartment until she found an apartment of her own with her other partner. While she's here, she must pay half of our rent and actually start taking care of her household responsibilities. The only reason that I made this deal with her is because I know she does not want to go back with her mother. The household is nothing but reminders of the pain of growing up with an abusive father and an emotionally unavailable mother. So really, she had nowhere else to go, and I still love her, so I didn't want to put her in a situation where she had to be on the streets. She complained and complained that the deal was not fair. She blames me for stealing away her youth and tells me that I need to find my own apartment. I told her absolutely not. I worked hard for years to finally be able to afford an apartment. I got lucky enough to finally find one, and I was not giving it up. Later that night when I came home, her partner asked to talk to me. He offered to take over the apartment, pay full rent for her, and then pay the first 2 months' rent and a security deposit, as well as do the footwork of finding an apartment for me. I still feel the same. I worked so hard for this and feel like I never got any appreciation or gratitude in return. I was only ever told I was not enough of a boyfriend, even though all of my efforts every single day are to build a better future for her and me. I told her partner that I would think about it and give me a few days. I also told him that, regardless of my choice, I needed him and her to both respect it, to which he agreed. I would like to say I don't quite believe that it would be a good idea for me to accept him paying that money for an apartment for me. I feel like that could be something that is held over my head, and that's the last thing that I want. But I must admit, I'm also scared of what they might do if I refuse to give her the apartment. As much as I love her, she has always been a little irrational with her reactions. And I would not put it past her or her partner to do something along the lines of damaging my property. I think the most likely target would be my car, because of how much love I have for it. AITA, would it be wrong for me to keep this apartment?